Welcome to the quick guide to playing Minwu in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. This guide serves to be a quick summary on how you actually play a unit, as opposed to all the fine details. The units in Opera Omnia are hardly complex, but you still need to have an understanding on what skills do. So, without further ado, let's get on with the main man himself, Minwu.
私には君の運命が見える。それは私の運命とも関わっている。
Minwu is a magic DPS and support unit that embodies the power of Holy and relies on his trap debuff to deal damage. I had previously compared him to Kuja in the sense that he's a Holy Enchanter and an Imperiler. However, it's important to note the differences. Minwu has traps, Kuja is the trap. His skill 1, Teleport 16, is actually one of his worst abilities. Minwu's traps only fire off in a set number of conditions, and his skill 1 actually goes against that. The main use of the ability is to delete the next turn of a single enemy and to reapply his Master White Mage buff. It gets stronger if his Master White Mage buff is at 5 stacks, but it's not enough to save it. Try and avoid using this ability unless you absolutely must. His skill 2, on the other hand, Holy 16, is a better pick for abilities, if only marginally. Minwu starts each wave of a stage by applying his Holy Anchor debuff to each enemy for 3 turns. However, this ability not only reapplies the debuff, but extends it to 6 turns. To boot, it also heals your party for 20% of damage it deals, making a clutch heal option. Use this ability if new enemies enter a fight, or they've cleansed your trap debuff. His EX, Soul Convergence, isn't much to write home about, but it's what I'd consider a safe option for moves to pick. It does a bit of a nuke before deciding it needs to speed things up a little bit by triggering all the traps on all your enemies. Also, it makes his next skill 2 free to use, because God knows that you shouldn't use only skill 1 unless you're being an absolute barbarian. His LD, Soul of Rebirth, is basically Lud's LD, only without the ouchie ouch on himself. It has the benefit of pumping the existing Holy Anchor debuffs up to max stacks, and filling Minwu's EX gauge up to full, along with being a bit of solid damage. However, this is when we get onto probably Minwu's strongest asset, his BT. His BT, oh boy, this is where things get exciting. His BT effect is called Sealed Ultima, and it sends Minwu into double time with his trap triggering capabilities. Files this up, every time a trap would go off, it goes off twice instead. Wow! Now, his playstyle. I did neglect to talk about his most powerful skill, mainly because I had to go on some convoluted quest to actually find the Forbidden Tome that unlocked it. I sure do hope nothing bad happens to me by explaining it, but here we go. His HP++ attack is how Minwu deals damage like the slow baller he is. As long as he has his buff from his skill 1 up, it turns his HP++ attack into a trap triggering machine. Just like how his EX triggers the traps on all his enemies, this does the exact same. Add on his BT effect, and that's double the firepower. I should probably add in here that his traps also heal, so I guess hurting others really can mend wounds. I would say it's important to keep an eye on his overhead debuff, which is called Noble Soul, but it works a bit like Garnet's LD, and as soon as it hits max stacks, boom, a free attack. It also has the benefit of sending all your traps back to 6 stacks. So, Noble Soul, it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy since it ticks up every time a trap goes off, and every time Noble Soul goes off, it resets the traps. So, it's basically an infinite loop as long as you can keep traps going off. His BT phase is pretty simple. You just do 6 HP++ attacks and an EX attack. Very simple. It's best to enter his BT phase immediately after using his BT finisher attack to be able to milk all those juicy traps. Minwu works best against 3 targets, and worst against a single target. With 3 targets, his BT effect will trigger traps a whopping 6 times each, every time Minwu either does a HP++ attack or his EX. Attacks against 1 target though will only trigger the traps twice, so pretty much sad days. Thank you for watching the quick guide to playing Minwu in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. I hope you got the quick TLDR on how to actually play Minwu since he is only on JP at the minute, so not everybody's going to have a complete understanding on how you actually get this guy to work. But anyways, if you want any more detail, please visit the Dissidia Compendium. That's literally where I get all of this information from. So good luck and have fun with Minwu.